We have just got some absolutely huge news when it comes to Warhammer the Old World, and I mean it literally. The bases are getting bigger, confirmed. I have to say, I did not see that coming. I sort of felt that they would just go with what they had. But no, the actual base sizes are getting bigger. And in today's article, they tell us why, and they show some of the old models that are actually going to be coming back. The Bretonnian old models, confirmed, definitely coming back. This is pretty sizable news. Let's jump in and show you what we've got. So it starts off like you would with any article. You know, it all seems about lore and stuff like that, but quickly we get some really truly important news. And I mean, like, for me, this is very important, and it puts a little bit of a confusion on what I'm going to do with my hobby. But first and foremost, they talk about the old models that are coming back. They also say they talk about bases and sizing, which we'll get onto in a minute. So obviously we're going to get some new kits, but Warhammer the Old World will herald the return of some much missed ranges of Citadel miniatures. The old minis are literally coming back, and not only that, they've painted some up. This is Duke Castile, the Red Hand of Brion. Alright, I mean, I have to say, it looks pretty damn sick. But that base size that he's on, probably a little bit bigger than you would expect, and they talk about this in a moment. There's a little bit of lore here for those of you who care about that. I'm not really a lore kind of guy, but I'm probably going to get into it, to be fair, with this game. But yeah, really interesting stuff here about the lore. There's 14 dukedoms and stuff like that. Cool. And then we actually see basically what are old miniatures but painted anew, and you might be like, well, aren't they all the same kind of style, which Bretonnian's not known for? They were all sort of like a little bit disjointed, as they were different kings and peasants, and, well, you know what I mean, not peasants, but different like royalty. And they answer that. Basically, they're changing it a little bit. They're going to give you the option, but effectively in this time period, they actually are saying that a lot of the heraldry will be of the Duke, and they're all going to sort of look the same. They're going to have the same style. And I have to say, personally, this is incredible. I actually really like that aesthetic. Lots of like mounted people there on horseback looking damn cool. Sure, you can absolutely still paint them the way that you like. They're basically going to add like this extra thing here where there's going to be rules for exiles and crusade armies. Exiles are going to be focusing on dishonored knights. I'm not quite 100% sure I know what that is too much, whereas the crusade ones are pretty much going to be what you already have. In short, they want to give the hobbyists a chance to paint a Bretonnian army in a uniform scheme while maintaining the idea that every model can be unique if you want it to be, for those who relish that challenge. Really cool. I have to say, I really like this red and black color scheme. Absolutely sick. And then let's talk about basing. And when I saw this image, I was like, man, those bases look a little bit big. And as you can see, they are on square bases. Obviously, we knew that was coming. But these are slightly bigger than they were back in the days of Warhammer Fantasy. The majority of models in Warhammer the Old World will indeed sit on bigger bases, and there are a few reasons for this. Over the decades, our models have become larger and more dynamic, which means that many units have become difficult to arrange into ranks and files. And I was like, oh, they'll probably just make a sort of like base that you would put your smaller base into. Well, looks like I'm wrong on that front. Players want to be able to like rank them out without complex planning. True. On top of that, we didn't like how the back ranks were hidden. Okay, pretty cool. It's also interesting to me that these are units of 15. I don't know if that's particularly relevant, but just worth noting. Either way, so now all 20mm bases have been replaced with 25mm. All 20mm bases have been replaced by 25mm. That is crazy news. Most, but not all, 25mm and 25 by 50 bases have been replaced with new size bases. So yeah, those Chaos Warriors, they're just going to go on a bigger base. Some will probably stay on 25mm, not really 100% sure there. Now for me, this is a big thing because I literally was just about to start basing some of my Dark Elves on some 20mm bases because that's the size that they fit on. Good job I didn't do that, I guess. I sort of wish that they would sell these bases now so people could act now. The models are not getting bigger. It is worth noting that the models are not going to get bigger. The scale's not changing necessarily, but they are going to put them on bigger bases. And then for the big questions here, do you need to rebase your old army? If you're playing at home, no, you can do whatever you like. It says that for the casual play, the size of the base will make minimal difference. The rules, however, though, will be written with the new base size in mind. So if you're planning on playing competitively, you might want to upgrade to the larger bases. They do say, though, if you don't want to rebase your older models individually, you are welcome to put them on a movement tray with the right size footprint. That makes sense for a game like this, right? There's no need to be rebasing. If you can just put them on a tray, that makes sense. How do you know that your correct base for your models? Well, that's going to be on every model's profile. That's the first indication I think we got about any actual proper like info, what the card will look like or what the profile will look like. Then we see some Pegasus, which you got to say look very nice. Can I take my old armies to organized play events? Sure, but organized play events, tournaments, campaigns, etc. will probably require armies to be based appropriately for the new game or an appropriate movement tray. Organized play requires some standardization, and this is the best way to do it. So you're either going to have to use a new tray or rebase, basically is what they're saying. Will you be able to buy bases? yeah, we're going to sell you bases. Obviously, we want to make money. Not only are they going to be selling bases, they're also going to be selling movement trays. I wonder if they'll do round 2 square base movement trays. That's something long speculated, but I think we're getting closer and closer for that possibility. Further news, thanks again to Warhammer the Old World team, there's plenty more to come from the development diaries in the future, and you may just hear even more at Warhammer Fest. Well, that's confirmation we're going to get something. But this is crazy news. Like, I did not see this coming. I mean, it makes sense. It absolutely 100% makes sense. But this is going to displease a lot of people. A lot of people already have their army on their base. They're going to feel pressured to rebase. Yes, of course, you can just do movement trays, and I think a lot of people will do that option as well. But yeah, like, the base change to me is absolutely crazy. Confirmation that you shouldn't base your army on a 20 mil base anymore. I could probably just buy some 25 mil bases for my Dark Elves, sure. But what about horses? They didn't necessarily tell us what they're going to. Are they going to 40 mil maybe? I don't know. I would probably not rebase right now. I would hold off. I have to say it's probably a good idea, but I can imagine that this is going to cause a lot of like displeasure amongst the community. And we definitely have news that the old kits are coming back. This is like a 2-for-1 in my opinion. I mean, that was long speculated, but we now have confirmation that that is actually going to happen. So old kits are coming back, base sizes are changing, Bretonnians are getting the ability to just have one kind of basic color scheme if you want, or one kind of like regiment color scheme. Yeah, pretty crazy stuff going on here. Very, very fascinating. Very interested in the development of this. I know a lot of you guys are probably unhappy, but do let me know in the comments below. What you should definitely do though is have a most beautiful day. Once we get to Warhammer Fest, obviously I will bring you this news. We'll probably dissect this a little bit more in the next coming days, but yeah, this is some huge news just come out. Let me know your thoughts about it. If you want to support me and help me grow, then becoming a Patreon truly is the best way. There is a link in the description. Otherwise, I hope you have a most beautiful day. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.